Hey, welcome to the Northumberland Zoo YouTube channel. My name is Maxine and I work here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope you guys had a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I can't believe it's the 4th of January already. We're doing a special half price offer this week, which extends until Sunday. And we have been super busy. But on that note, we are going to be closed from Monday, the 8th of January, all the way through to the 21st, I think, which is like a week on Sunday. That's for our yearly 2-week maintenance where we get jobs done that we can't normally get done when there's people around, and it gives us a little bit of a break as well. So if you want to get in and see the zoo before the end of January, then obviously do book your tickets by this Sunday. So anyways, I hope you had a really, really good festive season and you're raring to go for 2024. 2024 is going to be a big year for us and for our followers on YouTube. You guys will get to see what's going to happen first. So do make sure that you are subscribed to our channel to get these regular updates. And what I wanted to do in this video was to do a review of 2023, because sometimes it's really, really easy to forget how much work you do and what we get done in a year here at the zoo. And it is insane when you compare us to some other zoos. We do a lot. But I also want to talk about what we've got planned for 2024 here at Northumberland Zoo. So stay tuned. So our first major project of 2023 was actually redoing all of our paddocks. So originally, before last year, we had this one random, really long straight path that went down. It kind of had deer on the left and fudge on the right and donkeys, and the back paddock had like alpacas or llamas or whatever in it, and you couldn't really get to them. The sheep were away and it wasn't ideal, and it was a dead end. So I mean, you had to walk all the way down and back again. So we made this brand new route that went kind of all the way around in a big loop, which touched loads of new paddocks. So now when you go around, you can see the pigs, the cows, obviously the horses, the donkeys, the deer, and we added a polytunnel in there, and we also added our brand new bee apiary as well. So that was ready for the spring, ready for the bees waking up too. And we also moved our goats from the central part of the zoo into a brand new goat enclosure with a huge goat tower, which is just epic. And the goats love it. These new paddocks add a whole new area to the zoo. So it actually adds quite a significant chunk to your day, and you get to see all the farm animals as well. Obviously at this time of year the animals aren't out in those paddocks because we don't want to get them torn up, and we don't want the animals slipping and sliding around, but the goats are still out permanently, and so are the pigs and the deer, so you can still see them. So that was a huge undertaking doing that project, and of course when we do our projects we have to do them in the winter because during the summer we're just far too busy, so it's always a muddy thing. In addition to the paddocks, we also built a polytunnel up at the top of the field there to actually start growing our own veg. And I think this year we must have grown a couple 100 kilos worth of veg that we could use for our animals. Because at the minute, I think we use something like 230 kilos of veg a week, which is insane. And the price of veg and fruit, as you know, has shot up so much, it costs us a fortune. So anything we can grow on site is a bonus. And I think we're on about getting another polytunnel in there this year so that we can continue to grow more. It all just takes time. Then in April, we celebrated Dozer's first birthday. And for those of you who don't know who Dozer is the miracle Highland cow calf that was born about 6 weeks to 8 weeks premature. So we had a watermelon or fruit carving competition to carve him a cake that he could eat. So it was the axolotl cake that won the competition, and that was the one that he got to enjoy on his birthday. And the video from that is just epic. Then in June, we attended the annual BIAZA conference, which is the British and Irish Association of Zoos and Aquaria, and we won an award for PR marketing and digital events, and it was actually for our app. So our zoo app, if you haven't downloaded it already, is an award-winning app now. And we were officially recognised at the Zoo Awards last year. So we're going to be applying for some more awards this year for the conference in June as well. So that's pretty cool. The thing about the awards is that you can't win unless you apply, and obviously applying takes time. So that's why we haven't really got any accolades or awards yet, but we're getting there. We're currently in the running for the large tourism attraction of the year in Northumberland, and also the sustainable ethical tourist attraction as well, and those awards don't get announced until February, so fingers crossed for them too. We also hosted our very first workshop here at the zoo, which was the Mock Rock Workshop back in June, where we welcomed collections from all over the country to come and learn about the different skills of how to make mock rock with Aidan from Unreal Productions. And that was a huge success. And that's something that we would definitely like to do more of in the future, but we're kind of identified the fact that we need a larger event space. So that's something that we're working on currently, is how can we host larger events and hold more people? Because we did build a new classroom this year, but it's just not very big. It's great if you're this big, but when you're a full-grown adult, trying to fit a lot of people in that room is not ideal. So we're looking into different designs and ways that we can build an education centre here at the zoo. And it's great to be able to host other collections here at the zoo and show them how we do things. Then in July, we hosted the International Guinea Pig Appreciation Day, where we had Gertie's guinea pigs here at the zoo. And that's obviously all centered around our new guinea pig village. Now, the guinea pig village we obviously built exactly 1 year ago next week, and that was during our shutdown last year. So can you believe that Hog Springs Guinea Pig Village is 1 year old? Lucy's been taking them off show in the last couple of weeks and kind of renovating them a little bit, because after a year they're looking a little bit tired, but they're starting to look really nice and fresh again, which is cool. So we're welcoming our second year of Hog Springs Guinea Pig Village, and we're going to be making some modifications to that village in the next few months before the spring. But yes, we had the Guinea Pig Appreciation Day here at the zoo, and we had people traveling from all over the country to come and celebrate with us at Hog Springs, which was pretty cool. We also built our brand new Curious Creatures building, and this was all in preparation for removing the hothouse. So Curious Creatures, which is now at the beginning of the zoo, which has all of the invertebrates and reptiles and obviously the leafcutter ants and the nocturnal bit, that's all brand new as of last July, I think we opened it. And that allowed us to be able to take the hothouse down last month. So the Curious Creatures was a really, really nice development for us. All of the invertebrates and reptile tanks are all living tanks. So they're all got live planting in them, which is great for the animals. Unfortunately, a lot of the plants have not done too well in there, so we are revising our lighting systems in that, but it's all a learning curve. All of this stuff needs to be learned. But yeah, the Curious Creatures has been a great thing, and obviously with that we welcomed several different new species. We've got the leafcutter ants in, we've got the rainbow boa, we've got the red-eyed tree frogs as well, and we even welcomed Effie the Vositsi, which is a Malagasy jumping rat as well. So we had some really, really nice species added into Curious Creatures, and I think it really kind of shows off what we can do here at the zoo. Then, obviously, bird flu really caused a lot of a pain last year with our parrot house being closed a lot. So unfortunately, no one got to see them, which is really frustrating because it's a massive building. And if you're coming to the zoo, you want to be able to see everything. And if you can't get in, it's frustrating. So we decided to move our parrots outdoors. So they have a whole kind of holding area and indoor on-show area, as well as a big outdoor area as well. And that means that you guys can see them for the entire duration of your visit. They're not going to be off show. So that means that the parrot house is getting renovated, and it's actually in progress as we speak. So we're hoping that that exhibit will be ready for Easter. We'll certainly have a couple of different species in there for you to see, and that's going to be one of our major kind of new projects for 2024, which is quite exciting. But obviously the parrots having their new enclosure out where the old goats was is a massive, massive bonus. And right next to them, we've also built a brand new Servival house for Afia. Now, quite a few of you might not have seen Afia at the zoo because she's not on any signposts. That's my fault. And she was kind of hidden down the back of the otter. So no one's really seen the Servival, but even as well, she kind of keeps herself off show too. So she's got a brand new on-show house and a huge big paddock too. So we're hoping to get that up and running for February half term. It's just the ground's been so wet because it was such a wet 2023, as you know. So that's why we haven't opened that area up yet, because the paths and everything, it's just still too damp. We also built a brand new Highland cow house for both Highland calves and red, and that's just found out the back of the barn. And that's ideal because normally what we have to do is we have to bring them into the main barn in the winter, and it just takes up a lot of stable space having all those cows, especially when you need to kind of, if you need to separate the donkeys out because Jet and Jazz are being silly, or obviously Fudge is in his kind of medical rest at the minute, so he's taking up a little bit of space. So, you know, it just gives us a little bit more free space having the cows permanently in another facility. So yeah, they've got their own house now, and that was quite a big build too. Then of course, this year we've had to say goodbye to a lot of big characters, which has been really, really sad. it's just one of those things. In zoos, you have life and you also have death. And we had to say goodbye to Bert earlier in the year, Bert the raccoon, who we've had since 2009. He was 13 years old. So that was quite a big miss. Very sadly, and I haven't announced it yet just because just still trying to wrap my head around it, but we also had to say goodbye to Rowena the raven. Rowena unfortunately died under anesthetic during a routine procedure. If you don't know, birds are incredibly difficult to put underneath anesthetic because their lungs work completely different to our lungs, to mammalian lungs. So it's so hit and miss with birds. And unfortunately, she died just as she was just about to be coming out of her procedure. So it's just really, really, really sad because she's such a huge character and loads of people loved her. And like I said, I didn't announce it because it was just really, really tough. We also had to say goodbye to Caffrey, one of our oldest donkeys, and Biscuit, our oldest Shetland pony as well. Which I know that's really tough for the public because they're the ones that you can interact with and stroke, and it's the same with the keepers as well. You know, they get really, really attached to the farm animals, and you know, they've all got their own little characters. But Caffrey was suffering with cushions for a very, very long time, and Biscuit was suffering really badly with laminitis and things like that as well, but she was quite an old girl. So like I said, with life there is death, and it has been a particularly tough year, but that's what it's like when you have a zoo. It's hard going. But on the other side of that, we had some really, really exciting new additions to the collection. Obviously, with the Curious Creatures development, we got our brand new leafcutter ant colony who are doing really, really well. So I've been wanting leafcutter ants at the zoo forever. So the fact that we now have them and they live in a little Lego ant house is super cool. We also welcome the rainbow boa, who's a stunning guy. He's 16 years old, so he's in his retirement. He used to be used as an education animal at a different zoo, but now he is enjoying his life just living in our Curious Creatures area. We also welcomed Effie, the Fositsi, which is a Malagasy giant jumping rat. She's super nice. She's a critically endangered species, and we are currently looking for a partner for her. But yeah, she's in the bottom of the mouse lemurs if you haven't seen her already. Of course, we can't forget to mention the fact that we welcomed the guinea pigs. I've lost count of how many guinea pigs we have now. We're not breeding them, but it's just some of them we've had to send back to the rescue, and then they send us some more, and then so there's around 20-ish. But obviously we have one castrated male in there and the rest are girls. So they're a non-breeding group. And basically we're just kind of like a holding facility for Gertie's Guinea Pig Rescue. So we've got all of our usual characters in there as well. So the guinea pigs was a big popular thing here at the zoo and on social media as well.
Come on then. Come on then.
And we also welcomed a new breed of sheep, the Valais Blacknose sheep, which are super cute. They're the Swiss ones. They look like Shaun the Sheep basically, but just super fluffy with the all black faces, black ears, black little feet, and white fluffy fleeces. The chipmunks are a super fun exhibit. There's 3 boys in there, and they're constantly doing stuff. So that was a cool exhibit. Chipmunks are one of my favorite. And of course, the biggest kind of welcoming of the year, which was our huge news in December that you would have heard about, which was our bat baby. So the first critically endangered Livingston fruit bat born in the UK, I think, for about 4 years. And the first one here for the zoo, taking our total number up to 14 bats. So we don't know what sex it is yet. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but that was a huge thing for us and an amazing early Christmas present. So it's been an incredibly busy year, and I hope that you'll agree that we have achieved a lot. It's unbelievable what you can do in a year when you set your mind to it, and 2024 is not going to be any less than that. So obviously, if you've been to the zoo recently or you've been watching the videos, you'll notice that our whole front area has been wiped out. So we're going to be building some brand new outdoor tortoise paddocks for the sulcatas that are in Curious Creatures. And we're also going to build an outdoor area for the armadillo, which are right next to the tortoises. So that's going to kind of greet you as you come into the zoo. The other thing we're going to do is make quite a big change to our entrance layout. And what I mean by this is that we're actually going to put like a new kind of standing entrance next to the prairie dogs. And that means that anyone can pop in, go into the gift shop, go into our cafe, and also the bats for free. So it's actually going to be a bit of a free area. If you're a member, that means that you can still come in and you can actually go into our soft play included with your membership, but we're going to have like a little nominal fee for any general members of the public who actually want to use our soft play. It won't be very much, but it'll just pay per child. But obviously if you're a member, that covers it. But if you just want to nip in and grab a coffee on a bit of a rough day, you don't have to worry about actually paying for admission for the zoo. And we're hoping this will really, really boost our winter numbers and numbers during the week as well, because what we want to do is offer some more kind of cake and afternoon tea options in the cafe too. This will also provide members and people who have already booked tickets online with like a fast track entry. So you'll basically skip through the entrance and go straight to our second entrance where your tickets will get scanned. So hopefully it'll make the whole process a lot more streamlined. So let me know in the comments if you think this is a good idea. Now, some of you may know, I think I might have mentioned it a while ago, but we've also taken on 35 acres expansion, which is in that direction, which is away from the zoo. So, you know, if you're looking down at the Arctic foxes and you look over the byway, it's 35 acres on the other side of the byway there. So we've got a lot of plans and a lot of kind of thoughts and projects of what type of species we want to bring in and build there. But obviously our current zoo is like 20 acres, the walk around bit, and planning at like a 35 acre, you know, kind of extra bit is like a whole nother zoo. So it's quite a long kind of stage plan. It's a 10-year plan effectively. But we've got a few particular highlighted species that we would really like to see here at Northumberland Zoo. So we are making those plans, and hopefully I'll be able to announce them to you this year once we've got some concrete answers. And of course, if you stay subscribed and hit the notifications on YouTube, you'll be the first to find out what we're getting here at Northumberland Zoo. So it's all in the works, it's all on the paper, it's on the computers, what we're going to do, which is really exciting. But one of the biggest things that we're going to have to invest in this year is actually energy. Obviously energy prices are not really going down, and the zoo does cost a lot to run. We already do have a lot of sustainable practices here at the zoo with our biomasses, and we've got solar panels, but we're actually going to be investing quite a bit into streamlining that system and increasing our battery storage, so that we can actually create a lot more of our own energy and use our own energy. So that's going to be quite a big investment for us this year. So whilst we're planning for our big expansion, I think it's probably a good idea that we don't try and do too much on our site. Obviously there's going to be things and bits and pieces here and there which need upgrades, but they're not major projects. So, but that's it in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed that 2023 year in review. Do you have a favorite moment from 2023 that you would like to share with us? Drop it in the comments. I would love to hear what your highlight was of the year. If I was to sum up 2023 in a word, it would be wet. It was incredibly disappointing at numerous points in the year, where we were worried about people coming in. But you know what? At the end of the year, we racked up, I think, 95,000 visitors in total, which is insane, because the year before we had 83, I think. So we're over 10% up on last year, which is mad. But it's great. And thank you so much if you did visit the zoo, and thank you for supporting us on this journey. It's amazing. And if you haven't done already, please do remember to subscribe to the Northumberland Zoo YouTube channel and help us keep bringing you this type of content. If you've got any ideas or suggestions on how you think that this channel can improve, then do let me know in the comments as well, because I'm very open to suggestions. I want to show you what you want to see, basically. And I'm going to leave you on our little compilation of the animals enjoying their Christmas parties last week. We hosted all kinds of Christmas parties for loads of different species across the zoo, and our keepers got some great footage of them opening presents. So I'm going to leave you with these amazing montage. And obviously the zoo is closed for the next 2 weeks, so I'm not going to be putting a video out in the next 2 weeks because we're going to be busy doing other things. But I will see you in a few weeks' time. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.